Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today's the day for a big grass update. Ooh, that's the first shot that we've heard while we were walking on lead like this. She just heard a shot. Oh, it's probably in the next hollow, and she would have ran home, but she's on lead, so she can't. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna keep walking her on lead. See, now she knows that that gun wouldn't hurt her. At least I hope she knows. She's kind of pulling. Izzy, calm down, calm down. It is okay. She wants to get home, but not gonna be able to. She's gonna take a leisurely walk home. All right, about the grass. We have snow in the forecast. It's snow turning to rain. And then there's another one a little bit later in the week. That's tomorrow. Snow turning to rain. And they've gone back and forth up to 2 inches. So I'm hoping that the rain part melts all the snow and that the ground is clear again after that. But that might not happen. So I really want to show you how the overseed is doing. You can actually see all that grass from the overseed. It's growing all over the place, everywhere I overseeded. So I'm going to show you that. I'll show you all the different grass seeds that I collected, and I'll show you the order for grass seeds for the fall. And from there, we'll discuss the whole grass situation. Some stuff needs to be planted right before the snow is going to stick for a while. Like if I were to throw it right now and it snows on it and then the snow melts, the seed might sprout. Ooh, that was a big shot right over there. Big shot, scary noises. For those of you who are new here, Izzy is very fearful and she's been getting worse. That's why she's on a lead right now. So we're trying to cure her of her fearfulness. She won't even walk down this road anymore if she's not on lead. So that was another good test. She is pulling on the lead a bit. She wants to get home, but she's not going to. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what is going on with the different grasses. Like we have June grass. June grass needs to be spread right before the snow cover. Like I said, if it melts and that stuff sprouts, it's a little bit on the weak side and it might get killed by the frost. So everyone is a little bit different. I'll go over what I got, what I'm doing with. Hey! Stop that. I'll go over what I have, the seeds that I have, the seeds that I ordered, and what's going to happen with them. Okay, we'll start over here in the Prairie patch. I had planned on collecting seed from this big blue stem. This stuff looks gorgeous this time of year. Nice reddish color. But I planned on collecting seed from this. I figured I'd get a pound or two, but the really high winds has knocked almost all the seed is gone. It's just useless even trying. This little blue stem is hard to like glean the seed. You can't like run your hand over it like that and get seed. And you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, but if you look real close, there's no seed in there. I tried it a couple weeks ago and it was already gone at that point. I can collect the Indian grass, but now I have doubts about some of this Indian grass as to whether it is Indian grass. It sure looks like it. Like that definitely is Indian grass. But there was a couple of these that I was unsure of. And now looking at them again, I believe they are Indian grass. See, like this is a much lighter color, but Indian grass hybridizes with other grasses from what I've read. Yeah, that looks like Indian grass. So I can come and collect some of the Indian grass. I want to leave some for the animals, but you know, I need some of it too. And then that leaves the big blue stem. I have never harvested seed from the big blue stem. Well, I might have took a few seeds, but I never went and actually got a harvest to replant. So I don't know how easy it is to get the seeds from these, but I could actually just go in and cut off the seed heads and take it in the house and mess with it there. It doesn't really seem like they would come off. Well, let's give it a try. Yeah, it just pulls the whole seed head off. It kind of looks like the seeds are still there. So I can get some big blue stem, but the thing is, I don't want to plant a huge amount of big blue stem because it's kind of invasive, and you can see how big it is. I'm 6'4". This is at least 8 feet tall. This might be 8, 9 feet tall, but it gets up to 10 feet tall. And if you have a big patch of that stuff, it gets really hard to burn. You got to make sure you're away from buildings and stuff. The way I'm planning things out, the big blue stem is going to be kind of isolated, and areas right near buildings, I'm going to try to plant blue grama and buffalo grass and short stuff like that. Yeah, you could see this Indian grass is way darker than the stuff down there. So I kind of had worries that I have some foreign grass in here, some invasive, but I don't know. That really looks like Indian grass. It's supposed to be this darker color like that, like a reddish brown. So maybe I'll collect some of this. This gets a bit bigger than little blue stem, but you can see this is little blue stem right here. This is Indian grass. They look really good together. So I'll probably collect some more of this real soon, but not too much. I already have grasses growing in most areas, but the big place that I need to seed is in that back part where I've done all the hacking and squirting. I'll show you that real quick in just a bit. So very early in the year, I have June grass growing just right up at that corner, up right by the main driveway. And that grows best in really bad soil, gravelly, sometimes salty. And that's what we have at the edge of the road. And I'll show you the bag. I have maybe a ½ pound of seed, maybe a ¼ pound of seed. It's not a whole lot, but it's plenty. So what I'm going to do is sow that right along the edge here. I'll probably go all the way down. You know, seed doesn't go as far as you think it's going to. And I'll probably go back into there a little bit. I'm going to put some other shorter grasses in here, but I'm going to plant them from seedlings. So June grass all along the edge, and that's a cool season grass. And I believe I said before, the June grass needs to go on right before the snow cover. So I'm going to wait past this coming snow, and because I think it's going to melt in this area, I'm going to wait past this snow for a snow that I think is going to stay, and then I'll get out and just sprinkle it on the ground through this whole area and probably a little bit along the road up there. All right, let's go take a look at the seeds that I got. That prairie garden looks just gorgeous, and at some point the whole area is going to look similar to this, but there's going to be other types of grasses as well. Side oats grama, pretty much naked. I took the seed from this earlier. I'll show you that. And the birds got what was left, and just a couple here and there. Anything that falls in the ditch can get washed down to the field down at the bottom, and that includes all of this little blue stem right here. So that field down there is just going to get tons of different stuff growing there, whether I seed it or not. So I probably won't add any seeds to that. A quick update on the prairie drop seed. All of this stuff has died back for the winter, and it does have seeds, but I'm letting it naturally spread. And like I was saying, some of it may wash down into the other field down there. Some may grow here. I don't believe much of it's going to grow at all because this one's really hard to establish. But I do have a bunch of them that I grew in the greenhouse last year, and I'm hoping they do really good next year, but these take up to 5 years to reach their full awesomeness, so it'll take a little patience. This purple lovegrass did not turn very purple this year. It was super purple last year. When I started this year, there was probably 6 or 7 plants from last year, and I took seed last year and grew a whole bunch of new ones, and it kind of seems like I grabbed the wrong seed. I might have got seed from witchgrass or something. This is a weed right here. Well, that's witchgrass right there. We'll see. Next year, if this does not turn purple, I'm going to take some of it out and I may replant this whole thing. I know some of it, the early, like right in here, the first year stuff is all purple lovegrass, but the stuff towards the top here, not so sure. Hopefully this is all purple lovegrass and it was just because of the drought, but who knows. We'll see next year. Okay, here's the seed collection. This is a flower. This is purple coneflower. That's going to go in miscellaneous places. I'm not too worried about that. That is really invasive, so if any of that grows, that'll be fine. I think I'm going to toss a lot of that out of the car as I drive. It'll look nice growing along the road. This is mixed wildflowers. That is side oats grandma. We got, oh, I don't know, that's maybe a quarter of a pound, maybe a half pound. That side oats grandma, that's going to go a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm not going to toss that stuff. I'm going to rake it in a little bit. It's going to take a whole day to get rid of all these seeds because I want to do it right. This right here, I believe this is all Canada rye, and I'm going to take this over to the house today, and while I'm working tonight, see if I can get these seeds off the head. Otherwise, I'll just toss them like this and see what happens. This stuff spreads really easy, so I'm not worried about reseeding that. This is bottlebrush grass, which is very beautiful, but it's kind of a shady grass. So I'm gonna spread this in the edges of the woods throughout the whole place here. This is just the mixed grasses that I had on the floor here. That's just what's left, what I swept up. This is the Indian grass so far. I actually have quite a bit, and it's in this bag as well. So I'll probably collect maybe another half pound of that. This was my attempt at little blue stem, and I don't know if there's a single seed in there. It's possible, but not much. So what I did was order some seed for next year, but it needs to be planted this fall. The foul manna grass, that I'm going to start in the greenhouse. You could see it's very expensive, so I just bought a little packet of it, and I'll grow a flat. Little blue stem is $16 a pound. I really wanted to plant little blue stem everywhere, so I'll take that pound and just walk around all day wherever there's bare spots, drop some seed on it and push it in, and I should get a ton of little blue stem growing all over the place from that. And then we have sand drop seed. I just got a little packet of it, and I'm going to grow it in a flat. And split beard blue stem, that was really expensive as well. I think it was over $100 a pound. So I just got a little packet, and I'm going to grow that in a flat as well. So I only got 3 different grasses that I'm going to grow flats of this year. And then I'm going to transplant that stuff all into the front gardens. And then when those go to seed, I'll transfer seed to the rest of the areas. I almost forgot about the June grass. Here is the June grass. I collected this in probably July. June grass goes dormant as soon as it gets hot out. And as soon as this went dormant, it went to seed and I collected it. And as I mentioned, it says late fall along roads. And by late fall, that means really late fall. At the latest point I can get it to touch the ground. I'd like to get it in the cracks in the gravel and stuff under the snow. I can't throw it on the snow, and I don't want to throw it too early and have it sprout. This one's going to be a little bit difficult, but I think I can get it done. Just set that one right here. So like I said, between the pound of blue stem and what we have here, this is going to be easily a full day of hiking around and pushing seed in, stepping it in. Some of it will be tossed. We have the mailman here. I'm kind of waiting for him to go. Come on, mailman. Must have some awesome packages. Also, I forgot to mention, each one of these grasses has a number behind it. See, this little blue stem, I ordered 1 pound. So I know what the 1 means. So if these are pounds, I'm wondering what this 99, is that 100th of a pound or a 99th of a pound and a 16th of a pound? Because those are just packets. These grasses, some of them have 2 million seeds to a pound. Some of them have 100,000. Some of the real big ones, like some of the oats, have like in the hundreds per pound. I really don't know. I don't think it said on the website. If you're buying a 1/4 pound, 1/2 pound, or a pound, you know exactly how much you're getting. But then on these, it just says packet. Oh well, we'll see. But I wanted to mention this foul manna grass. That is like for growing along rivers and in wet areas. We have some wet areas right behind the house where our gray water discharges. I'm going to try growing it there, and there's some spots in this ditch here where it's kind of deep and it cuts into the clay that it never quite dries out. I want to try to get some of it growing along the, especially the lower ditch down by the vineyard. I'm going to try growing it there as well. Hopefully I get enough seeds. Hopefully I get at least 99 seeds so I can get a couple flats of that growing, and I'll try it all over the place and see what happens. All right, now I'm going to take this. This is, again, floor sweepings, but this is really dirty floor sweepings, but there's tons of different kinds of grasses and flowers in there. I'm just going to go toss this probably at the head of the ravine up here. And then on the way back, I'll show you the overseeding. It's doing really well. I'll show it to you here, up by the trees up there, and then in the yard, and then I'll wrap this up. All right, I'm going to be planting that June grass along here and right into the corner here. So I don't want to put this stuff along the edge here. So what I'm going to do is just toss it here and there. It's just junk mixed with a whole bunch of seeds. You can see all the seeds in there. So whatever grows, grows. Now I'll show you the progress on that overseeding. Okay, this is the very last yard that was sprayed with the tenacity earlier, and then it was overseeded. Then I filled in these ruts that the guy made with the skid steer, and I planted grass on that. So this is the very last grass that was planted. And you can see it's doing just wonderful. Now this stuff freezes every night, freezes solid. It gets down to 25, 26 at night right now. But then in the morning, when the frost melts, it gets some water and it starts growing again. That's the way bluegrass is. Some cool season just grows in the cool season and then it dies back. But bluegrass pretty much never dies. It just goes dormant. And then if it warms up a bit, it starts growing again. Kind of show you this area. This is either a warm season grass or it's annual. It's probably an annual. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see that in the middle of it is all of this bluegrass. That's from the reseeding. So next year, if this is an annual, the bluegrass will take over slowly. Next year I'm going to be spraying a pre-emergent, so the annual grass won't get a chance to grow and the bluegrass will just take off. There's other areas where there's just tons of bluegrass. This was the last one planted, so it's got the least amount, and this is on the side of a hill. Let's go take a look up here. This is also an area that I filled in, this whole little area right here. And you can see all the grass growing, all bluegrass. And again, this is kind of shaded right here. So we'll look at the first grass that was overseeded, that's right up here. Here we got a patch right here. This brown dead stuff is most likely foxtail. I believe it is foxtail. And all this little green stuff in between is the bluegrass overseed. Next year, it'll look more like that. As this foxtail goes away, it's going to be taken over by the bluegrass. Next year, we'll be spraying Tenacity again, early in the year. I got a new sprayer to make it easier. And the Tenacity is post-emergent / pre-emergent. So it's not going to let the yellow foxtail grow. And this bluegrass will just grow like crazy. And at some point, once it's really nice and thick bluegrass, the foxtail won't have a chance. Let's see if we can find some other areas here. Well, actually, you can see it everywhere if you look. Just these single blades here and there will take over the whole area. That's a whole plant right there. So as this brown stuff goes away, really nice green stuff will take its place. And at some point, well, it'll look actually better than this, but this was planted with bluegrass, 2 years ago, and foxtail creeped into it. But this Tenacity will take care of the foxtail, and this is all going to be a real beautiful lawn next year, and even better the year after that. So this is what we're shooting for. A nice thick lawn of bluegrass, and the thickness of the lawn does not allow the seeds from the foxtail and crabgrass and stuff like that. It doesn't allow it to germinate. So in the spring you let this grow a little bit long, and that shades out the annuals, and then you have a really beautiful lawn like that. You can see this patch has a whole bunch of fairly mature little bluegrass plants, but this one right here is pretty much devoid. Should get some seed on that, but I don't know if I can this year. I'm going to reseed in the spring as well. If you don't reseed every year, your grass is just going to slowly disintegrate as the grass gets old, because it can't reseed itself if you keep cutting it. And any annual grasses that get into it, they can reseed themselves. They'll seed at a height like that. So even if you keep it cut, some of them annual grasses will reseed when they're just an inch tall. So eventually they'll take over your grass. In this case, they didn't take over, they were here to start with. I planted bluegrass into what used to be a field here, and I used 2,4-D to kill out the broadleaf weeds. So I kind of went backwards, but now I'm going, and like I said, I'm spraying pre-emergent in the spring and reseeding again. So probably the end of next year, this will be basically all bluegrass, and it's going to look gorgeous. But you can do the same thing with pretty much any lawn. I was just taking a look at my bur oak trees. These look beautiful. This is 2 years worth of growth, or 2 years of growth on the land here. And you can see this year, I don't know, that's about 10 inches of growth right there. It's not as much as I would have wanted. I want these to grow at least a foot a year, but it's a good start. I'll bet they take off next year. Trees in their third year really start to take off, and by their fifth year, they're as established as they're going to get, and they'll just start growing like crazy. All right, let's go take a look at that sprayer. Okay, here it is. This is our new sprayer. Well, new to us, but it's not very old. It's not in bad condition at all. It's missing a spray nozzle. I have that in the house so I could write down the name of it and all that stuff so I can order more. These are a wear item, so I want to have some replacements on hand. I don't think they've ever replaced them. They're only like $1 a piece, so I'm going to get a few to have on hand. What else? Oh, it has a wand. You can switch back and forth between these. These go down, and then this kind of nozzle sprays in one direction. It sprays a fan of very coarse droplets, so it's not really affected by wind that much, which is what we need up here. You can get any kind of nozzles you want, but the ones that were on here were perfect. They spray a fan downwards, and the way these two are, they will overlap right at, or they'll hit at the middle. I think these are like 24 inches, and the height is correct. So, and the coarse, like I said, the coarse droplets aren't affected by the wind as much. So this is set up pretty much perfect. So I'll get that other nozzle back on there, get some ordered, and this is what we're going to be using next year. I would like to rig this up for the vineyard as well and put a single arm, a boom arm, with 3 sprayers. One that sprays down at an angle, one that sprays up at an angle, and one that's a big fan in the middle. And it shouldn't be too hard to do. I know where to get the nozzles from. All I need to do is make a bar, and all I would have to do is shut off the one switch, open up that one, and then just drive up and down the aisles. It's going to be a pretty interesting year next year. So if you want to see all that stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.